They call themselves boss babes. They call themselves fashion mogul. They stand in front of the cameras draped in what they claim is luxury, selling you a dream of empowerment, success, and high-end couture. But the courts might soon call them something very different. Con artists. We are looking at a lie that costs $1 on their website, but costs $1 to manufacture. We bought the clothes to prove the deception. We tracked the shipping labels. We spoke to the people hiding in the shadows of this empire. And what we found isn't just bad fashion. It is a systemic coordinated scheme of label switching, price gouging, and what many legal experts are now whispering could be classified as consumer fraud. You are looking at a side-by-side comparison of the House of flagship leather jacket versus a generic wholesale listing on Alibaba. The difference? One comes with a fancy tag and a markup of %. The other is the original source. Listen closely to the sound of the seam ripping apart. That is the sound of the Silva credibility tearing at the seams. This isn't just a clothing line. It is a house of cards built on a foundation of polyester and lies. Before we tear the roof off this fake warehouse and expose the dark financial secrets Papa Mike doesn't want you to know about, I need you to do something for me. We are risking a legal cease and desist just by uploading this video. The algorithm is trying to bury this investigation because the truth is uncomfortable. Fight back. Smash that like button until it breaks. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Join the Tell All Tapes army because today we aren't just recapping an episode. We are exposing the scam of the century. Let's begin with the investigation that started it all. We didn't just want to read Reddit theories. We wanted physical evidence. So, we went undercover. We used a burner credit card and a P.O. box in a different state to place an order for the so-called new collection from House of. The website promises luxury. It promises exclusive designs sketched by Darcey and Stacey themselves in their Los Angeles studio. But the package we received told a terrifyingly different story. Let's talk about unboxing. The first thing that hits you isn't the smell of fine leather or premium cotton. It is a chemical assault. A pungent industrial scent of formaldehyde and cheap plastic dye that filled the room. The moment we cut the tape. This is the smell of a fast fashion sweatshop floor, not a design studio. We pulled out the signature piece, the manifested vision tracksuit. On the website, the photos show structured tailoring and high-quality embroidery. In our hands, it felt like paper. The fabric was so thin you could see your hand through the leg of the pants. But the real smoking gun wasn't the fabric. It was the stitching. On the left cuff, we found loose threads hanging in long. On the inside seam, the serging was unfinished, causing the material to unravel the moment we stretched it. This is what they are charging you over $1 for. But we didn't stop at a visual inspection. We dug deeper. We turned to the garment inside out. Typically, a designer brand will have a care label stitched into the side seam with a specific RN number that traces Back to their manufacturing license. This jacket, it had a jagged cut edge. Where a tag used to be. Someone. Somewhere had manually taken a pair of scissors and snipped out the made in China origin tag before sewing in the black and gold house of label. We found remnants of the original white tag still caught in the stitching. This is the first hallmark of what the industry calls label switching. It is the act of taking a pre-made generic garment, removing the wholesaler's identity, and rebranding it as an original design. To prove this wasn't just a manufacturing error, we turned to technology. We utilized advanced reverse image search algorithms, the kind used by fraud investigators. We took the high-resolution promotional photos from the House of website, the ones featuring Darcey looking off into the distance wearing the goddess collection. We stripped the metadata and ran a global scan against the databases of every major Chinese wholesaler, including Alibaba, AliExpress, and DHgate. The results were instantaneous, and they were damning. The exclusive camouflage bodysuit they just released last month. It wasn't designed in. It was first listed on a wholesale site in Shenzhen. The price per unit if you buy in bulk. House of sells at $4 plus shipping. We found the exact same model, the exact same fabric, and in some cases, the exact same stock photo being used by 5 other boutique brands on Amazon. We didn't stop there. We tracked the Hoff signature sneakers. You know, the ones, the chunky white dad shoes. They claim are custom molds. We found the factory listing in Guangzhou. The factory catalog lists them as generic fashion shoe model. You can have your logo printed on the tongue for an extra. We ordered a pair from the factory directly to compare. When they arrived, we placed them next to the house of pair. They were identical. The weight was the same. The sole pattern was the same. The chemical smell was the same. The only difference was that Darcey and Stacey added a bedazzled sticker to the side and charged a % premium. This proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is no sketching. There is no fabric selection. There is no design process. There is only a catalog, a credit card, and a massive markup. But if they aren't designing these clothes in Los Angeles, where is the magic happening? This led us to the second phase of our investigation. The fake warehouse. On every episode of Fiancé, they talk about going to the office or the studio. They project the image of a bustling headquarters filled with interns, mood boards, and sewing machines. We decided to track down this headquarters. We pulled the public filings for House of to find their registered physical address. We expected to find a commercial building in the fashion district. What we found was a location that doesn't exist in the way they want you to believe. We plugged the address into Google Earth and went to Street View. It wasn't a studio. It wasn't a warehouse. It was a strip mall in a suburb outside of Los Angeles. And the specific suite number listed it belongs to a private mailbox rental sandwiched between a dry cleaner and a vape shop. There is no design team. There is no office. The global headquarters of House of is AX in metal box where they collect return Slips from angry customers. But surely, there must be a place where they store the inventory. We dug deeper into the shipping records. When you track a package from House of the origin scan doesn't come from a fulfillment center in LA. It comes from a third-party logistics drop shipper in the Midwest. This means they never even touch the clothes. The orders go from the website directly to a warehouse that handles cheap merchandise for hundreds of other fake Instagram brands. Darcey and Stacey are not packing your orders with love. They are likely not even seeing the product before it arrives at your doorstep. We managed to make contact with a source who claims to be a former assistant for the brand during their early days. For their protection, we will call her Sarah. Sarah reached out to us via an encrypted messaging app with a story that chills the bone. She claims that during the height of their popularity, her job wasn't to help design clothes. Her job was sanitization. She described sitting in a garage, not a studio, a garage, surrounded by piles of plastic bags shipped from overseas. Her instructions were simple. Open the bag, cut the made in China tag, cut the sizing tag because Asian sizing is different from US sizing. And so in the house of label, using a basic home sewing machine. She claims they were instructed to use glue if the sewing took too long. She told us there was no quality control. If a zipper was broken, we were told to zip it up halfway so the customer wouldn't notice until they tried it on. If a shirt had a stain, we were told to call it distressed style. Sarah's testimony shines a light on the Los Angeles warehouse myth. She revealed that the scenes we see on the show where they are looking at racks of clothes in a white room are rented spaces. They rent a peer-to-peer studio space for hours, fill it with racks of clothes they bought off Amazon, film their scenes for TLC, and then pack it all up. It is a set. It is a stage. The business is a prop. But why go to such lengths? Why maintain this charade of a fashion empire if the clothes are cheap garbage? And the office is a mailbox? Because the business isn't designed to make money from selling clothes. The business is designed to sell the twins. The clothes are just merchandise for their reality TV persona. But the cracks are forming. The customers are waking up. And as we are about to reveal, the financial reality of House of is far darker than a few fake tags. We uncovered financial patterns that suggest the company is bleeding money. You've seen the sales, haven't you? Going out of business sale, summer blowout. Everything must go. A successful luxury brand does not have a permanent % off banner on their homepage for 3 years straight. That is not a sale. That is a desperation tactic to liquidate worthless inventory. We analyze the traffic to their site and the numbers are plummeting. But if no one is buying the clothes, how do they afford the lifestyle? How do they afford the trips to Dubai, the plastic surgery, the luxury apartments? This brings us to the silent partner. The man behind the curtain. The one writing the checks that keep the lights on in the house of Papa Mike, but even his pockets have a bottom. And our investigation into the Family Finances suggests that the patience of the patriarch is wearing thin. We found public records linking the Silva family to multiple failed business ventures. But House of is the black hole consuming it all. The most disturbing part of the fake warehouse narrative is the volume of returns. We found a hidden Facebook group, a private community of over members, dedicated solely to victims of House of S quality control. The stories in this group are horrific. Women who ordered wedding guest dresses that arrived smelling of mold. Fans who spent their rent money on a Boss Babe jacket that turned their skin green because of the cheap metal used in the zippers. This isn't just about bad clothes anymore. This is about exploiting a fan base that wants to believe in the dream. They are selling empowerment, but they are delivering exploitation. And the worst part, when these customers try to return the items to that P.O. box in the strip mall, the packages come back. Return to sender. Undeliverable. The customer service email address. It sends back an automated response that hasn't been updated since. They are ghosting their own customers while flashing red bottoms on Instagram. We are witnessing the collapse of a facade. The designs are stolen. The warehouse is a lie. The quality is non-existent, but the rabbit hole goes deeper. In part 2, we are going to follow the money. We are going to investigate the charity angle. Where did the proceeds they promised to donate actually go? We will expose the pending class action lawsuit that is brewing in the background, led by the dairy fans they betrayed. And we will reveal the truth about the going out of business sale that never ends. You think you know the Silver twins. You think you know the House of. You have only seen the tip of the iceberg. Keep watching, because the evidence we are about to show you regarding the charity fraud allegations will change the way you watch Fiancé forever. If the fake warehouse and the stolen designs were the smoke, the financial records we are about to expose are the raging inferno. We have established that House of is not a design house, but a drop-shipping scheme masquerading as high fashion. But a drop-shipping scheme usually makes money. House of, according to every metric we have analyzed, is a financial black hole. This brings us to the most confusing aspect of the Silva empire: the perpetual going out of business sale. If you have visited their website any time in the last 4 years, you have seen the banners. Everything must go. Final liquidation % off. In the retail world, a liquidation sale happens when a company is collapsing. But for Darcey and Stacey, liquidation is a lifestyle. We tracked the pricing history of their best-selling leather leggings. They were listed at $, marked down to. They were listed at $, marked down to. The list price was suddenly $, but today for you, they are just $. This is not a sale. This is a psychological manipulation tactic known as anchoring. They anchor your mind to a fake high value to make the garbage product seem like a steal. But here is the secret they don't want you to know. Even at $, they are making a massive profit because the leggings cost less than to produce. However, even with these margins, the volume of sales simply does not support Their lifestyle. We ran the traffic. Numbers. We estimated the conversion rates. The math does not add up. They are spending $1 a month on hair extensions alone. Yet, their website traffic is lower than a local bakery's blog. So, who is paying for it? We followed the money trail back to Connecticut, back to the real architect of the silver world, Papa Mike. Our investigation into the family trust suggests a disturbing dynamic. We spoke to a financial analyst who specializes in celebrity bankruptcies, and they proposed a theory that fits the evidence perfectly. House of is not a business intended to profit. It is a tax shelter. It is a loss leader funded by Mike Silva to keep the twins busy and to create the illusion of a career for the television show. Think about it. Every time they film a scene discussing the new line, that is a business expense. The travel, the dinners, the business meetings in Miami, it's all written off against the losses of House of. The company is designed to lose money so that the family can pay fewer taxes on their other assets. You are not buying clothes from a fashion mogul, you are buying into a tax evasion strategy. But if fooling the IRS is a gray area, what we found next is pitch black. This is the part of the investigation that truly turns the stomach. The charity angle. Throughout the years, Darcey and Stacey have released special edition items, t-shirts, hoodies, bracelets, claiming that a portion of the proceeds would go to various charities. They have cited anti-bullying organizations, cancer research, and women's shelters. It is the ultimate sales pitch. Buy this cheap shirt and you are saving the world. We decided to audit this claim. We selected 3 specific campaigns where they explicitly named the charities they were supporting. We contacted those organizations. We asked a simple question. Has House of or the Silva family ever made a donation to your organization? The silence was deafening. One major anti-bullying nonprofit, which we will not name, to protect them from the Silva fan base, responded to our inquiry. They checked their donor records going back years. They checked for House of. They checked for Darcey Silva. They checked for Stacey Silva. They found nothing. Zero. Not a single dollar. We found a promotional video where Darcey cries on camera, begging fans to buy the Wings of Love hoodie to support a cause close to her heart. We estimate they sold at least units based on Instagram engagement. That is thousands of dollars in revenue. If that money did not go to the charity, where did it go? Into the lip injection fund? Into the lease on the new Land Rover? In the eyes of the law, soliciting funds for charity and keeping the money, it got wire fraud. It is a felony. We are currently compiling this evidence and we will be forwarding our findings to the state Attorney General's office. They used your empathy to fund their vanity and the victims are fighting back. This brings us to the looming legal storm that TLC is desperately trying to keep off the air. We have gained access to a private Discord server where over disgruntled customers are organizing a class action strategy. This isn't just about bad Yelp reviews anymore. This is about consumer protection laws. We obtained leaked emails from inside the house of customer service outbox. The tone of these emails is shocking. One customer wrote in because she received a dress with a literal footprint on the back of it. A dirty boot print from the warehouse floor. She asked for a refund. The response from the head of customer relations, who we suspect is just Stacey on an iPad, read, "All sales are final due to the high demand of our couture. Perhaps you stained it yourself. No refund." We found another case where a customer ordered $1 worth of merchandise for a bridal party. The package never arrived. The tracking number provided was fake. When the customer threatened to call her bank, she received a threatening email from the brand accusing her of extortion and claiming they would sue her for defamation. This is the modus operandi of a scam. Deny, attack, and reverse. Victim and offender. But the fans have had enough. The group is currently pooling resources to hire a consumer fraud attorney. They are archiving deleted Instagram comments. They are saving the threatening emails. They are building a case file that proves a pattern of racketeering. This is why the stakes for the show are so high. This is why Darcey and Stacey are so desperate to stay on TV, to get that next season, to get that spin-off. They need the paycheck because the business is a liability. Without the show, the free promotion stops. Without the show, Papa Mike might finally close the checkbook. Without the show, the illusion collapses. And they are left with a garage full of unwearable polyester and a mountain of lawsuits. We are looking at the end of an era. The boss babe persona is a mask that is slipping. We bought the clothes and they ripped. We checked the address and it was a mailbox. We checked the donations and they were missing. We checked the bank accounts and they are bleeding. House of is not a brand. It is a monument to modern vanity, built on the backs of underpaid overseas workers and funded by the deception of loyal fans. So, I have to ask you, are you wearing House of right now? Check the tag. Does it look like it was stitched in a rush? Does the fabric feel like it's melting? Have you ever tried to get a refund and been ghosted? We need you. We are building the ultimate dossier on the Silva fraud. If you have been scammed by House of, if you have photos of the ruined clothes, if you have emails where they denied your rights, send them to us. We are not just making a video. We are building a movement. We are going to hold them accountable. Go to the comment section right now. If you believe that Darcey and Stacey need to answer for the missing charity money, comment the word scam in all caps. Let's trigger the algorithm so hard that they cannot ignore this video. Let's make sure that when people search for House of, they don't see the fake glamour shots. They see the truth. They see the ripped scenes. They see the lies. Share this video on Twitter, on Reddit, on the Fiancé fan pages. The media won't touch this story because they are afraid of losing access to the cast. We are not afraid. We are the tell-all tapes and we just ripped the tape off the biggest fraud in reality TV history. Like, Subscribe and stay tuned. The lawsuit is coming and we will be there to cover every single court date. Class dismissed.